What up? What up? Schwiener here. Is this 13? I think it's episode 13 of our West Brom career mode here. Going through our youth scouting reports here. We do not have enough money to to sign anybody uh, onto our academy, so just kind of clearing up crappy players, and hopefully maybe we'll be able to sign a player or two if we get some sort of funding. But I edited this video like 3 days ago, and I'm now just getting around to being able to do the voiceover like audio recording for this. So we're kind of go along for the ride together, and revisiting what this episode's about. But Amora, top Premier League goal scorer so far, 12 goals. He's been on fire for us. Been a great addition up top for us, scoring an insane amount of goals. His pace is just absolutely insane here. And it's Ipswich Town in our first game for the episode in the league. I believe I don't know if they're sitting in last place, but they're definitely in a relegation spot at the moment. So hoping to get an easy 3 points here and move on to the next. Because we're in that same kind of boat as last season, where if we continue to win a few games here, we can kind of stay in that top six area. But if we go on a streak of losing, we could fall to like 10th. So really important game, and unfortunately, even though we had an opportunity early on in the game, we also concede early on in the game here, and just a really, really poor goal to give up. Ipswich Town just passing it around us. And I mean, honestly, it was a great goal. It was a great team goal, good run, great passing. It was a deserved goal, and that is unfortunately the only action in the goal scored in this game. And we lose to Ipswich Town here. Just a brutal, brutal loss. Got to be beating these low-level teams. I mean, I just don't like. We lose to teams like Ipswich, and then we'll beat like Arsenal. It just doesn't make any sense. But I guess the Premier League is competitive across the board. No game's an easy game, is what they say. So I don't know. And speaking of tough opponents, next up it is Liverpool. So yeah, at this rate the season's going, we got better odds to beat Liverpool in this squad that they have than this pitch apparently. But I mean, this is such a insane team. I don't know who the two players out on the wings are. I've never heard of them, but pretty much the same back line, midfield. Ekatike up top, who's kind of solidifying his spot as the number one there. Apologies if you heard that. Got a phone call and declined. And Liverpool early, this Zagugi guy who don't know who he is, but gets a goal against us, and it's just that angle right there is so embarrassing. It's so easy for him to just turn like that on our defender, and then boom, squares it, goal. And they're kind of raining on us. 2-0, less than 20 minutes into the game. It's not looking good. Ekatike, 5 goals this season, it looks like, into that stat, and we're just adding to that marker. And why not? One more for good luck. Griffiths making a save at the end here, but it's too late. 2-0 loss to Liverpool, a bit brutal, and we jump right into Bournemouth, who I think is like a middle of the pack team at the moment. But I mean, they're dangerous this season. I know Semenyo and like a bunch of players had left, especially he left this January transfer window in real life, but they're a solid squad. Their coach is insane. This is going to be a tough matchup, especially away. So fingers crossed, we're on a 2-game losing streak. Can we get back to winning ways here? Time will tell. And just like the last 2 games, conceding extremely early. Extremely early. Excuse me, got the hiccups. It's Cropi, who's really, in real life, coming into his own. A really good young talent, and he scores one on us early on, and 12 minutes in, it's 2-0. And this is the last 3 games. It seems like it's the same kind of repetitive pattern of getting scored on once or twice really early on in the game, and then just not being able to score a goal and get ourselves back into the game. And it's just unfortunate, man, that we cannot, like I said, afford to lose 3 games in a row. But we respond really quickly, like instantly. It's Tony Fruke, like 2 minutes later. So right back into this game, finally score a goal in our kind of 2-3 game scoring drought here. And game's back on, absolutely back on. 3 goals in the first 15 minutes of this game is insane. And that's not going to be the last goal that gets scored in. Teased you right there, but Fruke almost with an insane, or Bovell, I think it was who actually shot that. But that would have been an awesome goal and just wide and high. But right before half, great save by Griffiths to keep that a 1 goal disadvantage instead of 2 heading into the half. So that was big time, and we were able to capitalize into the second half scoring, and now it's 2-2. So really, that Griffiths save at the end there of the half was huge, and it's our guy Amora tying it up. It's 2-2. We got about 35 minutes left to play here to either find ourselves a winner, lose this game, or just go home with a tie, which at this point, just any sort of points would be great. But Griffiths with kind of a crazy save there towards the end here. And in the dying minutes of extra time, it's Takai, our guy, scoring off of a corner, just getting up there and bagging it and finding ourselves a winner. Just honestly, an insane game. This was a really, really fun game to play, to be honest. Kind of went back and forth, came back from 2 down, scored in the dying extra minutes of this game off of a corner is awesome. So good win, back to winning ways. Starting the month off, 2 losses and a win. I'll take a loss to Liverpool. That Ipswich Town one stings a little bit, but is what it is here. And now we're into, I think this is the Carabao Cup. Yeah, Carabao Cup against Bournemouth again. So just back-to-back Bournemouth games here, but we are in our home territory this time. Not in the league, but for a trophy here. And again, like I said earlier, kind of in these episodes, we're not having a huge focus on these domestic trophies, right? Our goal is to survive, which I think we've done at this point. I don't see us getting relegated, knock on wood, unless we just absolutely lose like the last 3 months of the season, every single game. But that's where the focus is, to survive the Premier League. Honestly, we can even get some sort of European football, like Conference League. That'd be sweet. But about 30 minutes into the game, we find ourselves 1-up against Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup. We do have pretty much our B squad in here, and just crazy move that guy just did, like a 180 turn. And Griffiths saved, and that almost went in too. That was kind of a little cheeky there. They were putting pressure on us. I'm not going to lie, absolutely putting pressure on us, and they finally found themselves an equalizer, which was most likely probably deserved. As I showed the last few clips, there was a couple more of them kind of putting pressure on us. So probably a deserved equalizer from them, and this sends us to penalties where we've been here before. I feel really confident with this team in penalty shootouts. But you never know. You never know. All it takes is something like that on our end. Thank God it was Bournemouth, but just hitting the post, goalie guessing the right way, like they did there, and just, I don't know. As much as I do feel confident in this team, it is always kind of stressful. And Griffiths, though, we've seen him make some incredible saves, and really just kind of relying on him to win us these shootouts. We got to do our job scoring, and just pray Griffiths can get a stop or two or have them mess up. And I hate when they go down the middle, man. I hate when they go down the middle. It makes me look like an idiot. I feel like an idiot. But it's fine. Calvin Phillips bagging it. I think if they score, I don't know, if we save it here, I think we win. No, next one. Yeah. So, yeah, if we score this, they have to score the last goal for us to win, which we do. So, yeah, comes down to this last penalty here. It's Griffiths. Really counting on him to be the guy. And he's not. He cannot save it. They go right down the freaking middle again. So now it's sudden death, essentially. This is sudden death here. in this situation, I love being, the first shooter, less pressure on us. We score it, and I stay down the middle again, and it's Griffiths just bouncing that ball to the side here, and didn't happen at the end of the first 5-6 penalties, but during sudden death, he stepped up. Good angle here of him bopping that ball away to the left, right down the middle. We're not going to have them score. I think that would have been a third, maybe a fourth goal on these penalties. They would have scored just going down the middle. So, tough game, fun game again. Us against Bournemouth, I think, is a pretty good comparison of where we're at as a squad, as a roster. So, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. 2 wins against Bournemouth, making them our little bitch. And then we have Leeds up next back into the league here. Really, really trying to not get scored on in the first 20 or so minutes. I think that's kind of mentality-wise going into these last couple games. Just don't get scored on early on. Playing down just sucks. It always sucks. So we go ahead, and what do? Score within the first 10 minutes. Exactly what we're looking for. It's Amora. Keeper gets a hand on it, but it's just not enough. A little too powerful, maybe a little too far out of his hand, but a much needed goal early on to take a lead after, I guess, Bournemouth last game. We took the lead early and conceded, but the previous 3 games, just getting scored on early just sucked, and they almost instantly responded 3 minutes later. And just some sloppy play. Griffiths coming out there, getting a good punch out there. Again, they're putting some pressure on us. Same kind of pattern. And off the post, Mora should have bagged a second right before the half here. He did not. Into the second. It's a Mora, beautiful touch, using his pace. Bags it. Just 2-0. Sealing kind of the game away here. 30 minutes left. Just got to hold on. But he's just, I can't talk enough about just his movement. He's just so fast and so good on the ball dribbling. It's just awesome to play with him. And it's him bagging a brace, giving us the 2-0 win against Leeds, which is huge. And I think that was the last game. I think we only had 4 or 5 games. Yeah, here we go. So 2 losses, 3 wins, one of them in the Carabao Cup. I mean, I'll take it. That Ipswich one's going to sting. And only a couple of games for November. I think maybe a Carabao Cup game will pop up, but we'll see. And looking at the table, I can't complain, man. Sitting in 4th, absolutely cannot complain. Again, though, as you can see, people, 10th to 4th is all kind of within a few point range here. So let's see if we can continue kind of some wins next month. But give a like, give a subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.